Back to Cuba, where I think, guys, it is the Tampa Bay Rays. They're going to play the all-Cuban squad. Is it today or tomorrow? Is it today? Tomorrow. Okay. Regardless, that's a big deal in Cuba. Love baseball there. The president helped arrange this, so that'll be a big feat here. But, you know, when it comes to this whole mission itself, a lot of people are wondering, is it really worth it? Lt Governor Carlos Lopez-Cantera is a Florida Republican. He supported Marco Rubio. No endorsements forthcoming post the senator's departure. But Governor, very good to have you.
Thank you, Neil. It's good to be with you.
What do you think of this whole Cuban trip?
Frankly, it's disgraceful. It's embarrassing. And I, as a son of Cuban exiles and grandson of Cuban exiles, I never thought I'd see the day where Air Force One with the President of the United States would be landing in a communist Cuba. It's a very sad day for freedom. It's a sad day for those who are seeking freedom on the island. And you know what? When the President got word that 50 dissidents were arrested while he was in the air, he should have turned the plane around. It's an embarrassment what he's doing today in Cuba. All right.
The argument has always been, as you know, sir, that in the 60 years we've had this sort of frozen standoffish policy with the Cubans. It's benefited neither us nor the Cubans. What's to show of it? They're 90 miles south of our border. Let's start a relationship. Let's start a dialogue. It will lead to better things for Cubans and our own business interests and those who want to just open up. You say what?
Well, starting a relationship and starting a dialogue, there's nothing wrong with that if you get something in return. Unfortunately, since the President announced his changes in December of 2014, the amount of political arrests and political beatings has actually doubled. So it hasn't accomplished anything for the Cuban people. As a matter of fact, it's made it worse for them. That's why, you know, it's so important here in Florida that we elect a senator. That's why I'm running for the U.S. Senate, that understands this issue, understands it historically as well. And, you know, a lot of people don't realize that you've been able to do business with Cuba for decades. The only thing that the embargo restricted was extending the Cuban government credit. So lifting the embargo will be extending them credit. And that's a problem because they don't pay their bills.
Now, you were supporting Marco Rubio. He has left the race. There's this effort to get anyone but Trump, but Donald Trump is in the lead position. He needs 53% of the remaining delegates to be the presidential nominee for your party. Would you back him in that event? He does become your nominee.
Well, right now I'm focused on winning this United States Senate seat. This Senate seat here in Florida could be the 51st seat in maintaining a Republican majority in the United States Senate.
I know, but you were doing that before when you were supporting Marco Rubio. So would you support Donald Trump?
Marco Rubio was the candidate that I was backing. He's no longer in the race, so I'm going to wait and see how the nominating process works itself out. Until then, I'll be focusing on continuing to drive 5,000 to 10,000 miles a month around Florida, seeking support for this United States Senate race. You
don't like Trump, do you?
I love Florida, and I love what we've been doing here in Florida, and I love the democratic process. It's another reason why, you know, what's been happening with the president in Cuba is so unsettling, because what we're doing here, what we're doing right now, this interview right now, the democratic process that's playing itself out in electing leaders, can't do that in Cuba. There's no freedom of the press. There's no free and fair elections. So, you know what? We should just remind ourselves how precious freedom is and how we may take some of the freedoms and the rights that we have here for granted too much because they don't have it in Cuba.
Understood. Governor, thank you very, very much. Good seeing you.